As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. We gotta talk about the market. I want to talk about the market and about energy prices. Something that I don't usually do, but occasionally I want to give my opinion about them. And what do we see here? We're seeing the gas prices in Europe, natural gas prices. We just say gas in Europe, but yeah, for Americans, it's of course natural gas. And what we have seen this natural gas price go up and up and up all the way last year. And why was that last year? Because there was really a fear that the gas reserves and that was really the case, the gas reserves were not full. So we had we had pretty much empty gas reserves going into the winter. And of course, we all know what happened here. There was a lot of fear that Russia would turn off the gas, something that Europe was completely not ready for. And eventually the market calmed down and we saw a sudden drop until Russia decided to close the gas to Germany with 60%. Not sure why they did it. They say there was a broken valve, but could also be for political reasons, of course. We don't know. But the fact is, the new gas price right now is 140. When we're looking at the last 3 months, we're seeing since that decision, it's been steadily rising. And it's been said also by European politicians that right now we'll need to cut the gas usage with 30% to make it through winter if we would fully lose access to Russian gas. So that's a problem. And I want to talk to you all with what you can do. I'll give some tips at the end of this video how you can cut your gas usage if you are in Europe. And I also want to discuss the American market. Before I do that, so first I want to discuss the crude oil price. So what we have seen went up and up and up to extremes in March. But actually, even though there has been like a steady rise, very recently it's been dropping and dropping, probably with more oil supply becoming available, more people switching to electric cars. I doubt many people will be buying an oiled car, especially in Europe. Everyone is going to switch to electric vehicles. And what we are seeing is the oil price has started to come down since the beginning of June quite steadily. Oil even went into bear market. And the second graph I want to show you is a 10-year treasury. It's kind of like following the oil price because we are seeing here exactly the same. We went up to a max 1 week after the oil price went up, and since the oil went down, it started to drop. By the way, oil in the US is not the only energy source that has been going up. Also, natural gas has been dropping actually. So energy in the US is generally just going down, and it's hard to tell. Like, you would assume in summer that people would be starting to use more oil, but right now it's not even the case. So we're seeing a drop of that oil. Another important metric that I use to check the state of the market is the forward PEs. So we can see from the SP 500, the forward PE is 15.9. That's quite low. So we can see actually we are approaching the COVID crash forward PE. So that not yet the one from 2008, but probably the situation when everyone was about to lose their house and their savings is not as bad yet as in 2008. So we're seeing here 15.9. Of course, it's very different from sector to sector. And that's also what this graphic is trying to show. I will go a bit further to the QQQ, which is also important to watch. But the thing is, a forward PE of about 19 for the treasuries would be fine for this market. Now we're seeing a treasury of a little bit lower. We're seeing 2.9. So actually right now the market, I would say for current PE, for current forward PE, it's undervalued, except maybe for information technology. We can see that as well. So for information technology, oh, see, it's actually it's actually doing quite well. So for information technology, 19.1, semiconductors 14.3. We can see that information technology sector, it's no longer overvalued. It's right where it should be. So nothing to worry about if you are invested in that sector. But what do people say? People say there might be reevaluations, there might be guidance changes. And what we are seeing here, we're not really seeing that yet. We don't see any guidance as changes for Q3 right now. So we're seeing very, very little bit for staples, consumer services, consumer discretionary. We're not seeing it for IT. We are seeing a big improvement for energy, not surprising, of course. But otherwise, all the other sectors, even real estate, I'm a little bit surprised of that, is doing quite well. Utilities 3.8. So what people are saying, we are expecting revisions of these EPS here per sector. We will see probably energy drop if all keeps dropping the way it is now, and other revisions. Now, if you're living in Europe, here are a few tips to keep yourself warm in winter without paying too much, because in case you didn't realize it, right now the gas, it used to be at 20, and that's about 2 years ago. Now it's at maybe 150. At some point in 2020 it was even lower than 20, yeah? But let's say even 15. So it went times 10, guys, times 10. So that means if you had a gas bill of 1,000 euros, then you would have one of 10,000 euros. So you need to start saving gas. You can do that, of course, by living in a more energy efficient home. That would be the first one. The other one, I also have a few important tips that you can use. Namely, you can start to cut the cost on, on your gas usage. Shower less long. That is one thing you can do. I'm putting a timer myself. I'm putting it to 3 minutes. Second thing, I'm going to work from the office as much as possible, because of course if I work from home I need to pay for heating. If I work from the office, where I live on biking distance, by the way, I can just cycle to work. I'm not using any energy. Another tip to save on gas, candles. Candles, they are selling really, really cheap right now. So whilst they went up maybe 30% in price, not much compared to 1,000% increase of the gas prices. Keep in mind, they should not be your main heating system, because they do create poisonous gases for you. But having a handful of candles in the living room is not going to kill you, and it could raise the temperature with 1, maybe 2 degrees, depending on the size of your living room. And every 1 degrees you can raise it, that's a 10% discount on your gas that you will be using. So that's really something that I recommend. Get a few candles. They're cheap right now. They're going to be more expensive in winter. Everything will be more expensive in winter. They're cozy. I love them for the mood, but I'm also loving them for the prices. Another thing is blankets. So extra blankets for the winter. So you can see here the prices extremely cheap right now, because it's summer, and who the hell wants to buy blankets in summer? Stock up now on these for winter. Also anything else winter related. Guys, it's really going to be a hard winter. Don't kid yourself. If you're using gas, unless you have a super isolated house, you are going to pay a heavy price. I really suggest to think about this now, stock up now, and help Europe get through this hard winter by lowering your gas usage. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.